Hey everybody, in this video I just wanted to show you a quick, easy way to keep your 3D printer filaments a little more organized so that it's just a little tidier around your workspace and it doesn't take long, only a few supplies. So let's jump into the project. We've got our filaments here that need to be organized, and instead of them just sitting in a stack, what we're going to do to make this quick and easy is take the filament boxes along with maybe a little more cardboard, and we're going to turn these all into like a custom shelf that's made from the boxes themselves, so you are guaranteed to have all these materials if you buy the filament. And what we're going to do is kind of cut them down a bit so that they're easier to use and don't just completely absorb the filament roll. Then we're going to stack them on top of each other using a little extra glue. So let's get started. So in order to keep the filaments from being completely absorbed by the box like this, and then you're not really going to be able to get them out very easily, we're going to measure how thick the filament roll is, and then take off about probably 2 or 3 inches from the box, so then it's still easily accessible. Alright, so these smaller rolls of colored filament that I have, those are about 6 inches across, and then the larger ones are 8. So I'm going to take 1.5 inches off of the end of the box to make it easily accessible. So now we've got the box here that fits the filament really nicely and still leaves a good room to pull it out and has it nice and secure. I'm going to quick clean up these edges with a pair of scissors. Now that we're done making the first filament box, we'll keep this in case we need these pieces of cardboard later. Then we're going to move on to the next one and do exactly the same thing. It's pretty much exactly the same box as well, just made out of a little bit of a thinner cardboard. Oh, well, that kind of worked. Maybe I should just cut it next time. Snapping's kind of inaccurate. Okay, so I got 2 done, and we can kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like now, with the 2 boxes stacked on top of each other. And I noticed that they're not exactly the same size, if you can see that right there. But so I'll just put the larger box on the bottom. That's the workspace one, is larger than the Sunla filament. And then they're all, I also didn't get the measurements perfect, so they don't meet up perfectly, but that's kind of the point. We're not going for a perfect looking holder here. It's just quick and make things organized. But now I have to get this box here put on top of these, and this can hold the smaller rolls of filament that came in it. So let's see what happens next. Okay, so now I've got these 2 here that are stacked together, and I think instead of putting this one on top, we'll put it on the side. So it all depends upon how you want to arrange your filaments. If all you have are the normal, like, 8-inch, 1 kilogram spools, that's good for you. But I think these are like 0.2 kilogram spools, and they're a lot smaller, so they will came in their totally different size box. So I've got this one going to be lined up on the side, and I'll just put these inside it, because I don't use them very much. So this should be plenty sufficient. And also, because they're almost the same height, I'll just compensate with that with a few thin sheets of cardboard, and then they'll be the same height, and it'll have a nice large flat surface on the top that I can put more things on. Okay, so what we have here, I cut the tabs off of this. Remember, we're saving those bits of cardboard for later uses if we need to, and now we gotta glue them together with the hot glue gun, which have been heating up during this time, and then they'll all be spaced out pretty well. And here we've got the colored filaments slide in here nicely, and I'm not gonna cut off any from it because it's already a nice distance, and I don't need these to be like sticking out far to access them. So let's get gluing, and I'm gonna space these 2 here so that it's level with the other filament. spacers here are made out of 3 sheets of the cardboard that came from the lid of this, and those space between the workspace filament container and the Sunla filament container. I'll put the top of it up because that's got a bunch of information on it. And then this can line up right with the back edge. And that's how it's going to work. Now I got to glue them together with hot glue just like I did all the other ones. So I'm just doing 1 bead of hot glue down the center. That should be plenty to hold it in place. Because it's not, the glue is not taking a ton of weight. It's just supporting the extending the box above it. This box is going to sit like this, so then both the windows are on the same side as well. Once again, it doesn't take a whole lot. So this shelf is done. It looks a little sloppy, but I don't really care about that. It just needs to work. This other box is going to come along the side. I'll put the little thumb tab at the top. This is got a nice. This needs a little more glue than the other connections. Place the box on top, and then your filament shelf will almost be done. Just gotta make sure these glue's dried. I want the backs to be lined up. The glue's pretty hard, and the filament shelf, whatever orientation you want to put it in, is complete, pretty much, unless you want to paint it. So this box is basically complete. There's just one more thing to do if you want to be able to have it stand up like this, rather than laying down flat, where it takes up a lot more surface area. If we put it upright, we can conserve our space even more. But right now the issue is these rolls at the bottom are rolls after all, and they can just roll right on out if you bump it. So what we're going to do is once again take a piece of scrap cardboard that we cut off of one of our boxes and use it to create a little bit of a lip here at the bottom of the containers, and that will help keep the filament rolls from freely rolling out. Okay, so we just got these little bumps on the bottom put in, and that's to prevent our rolls of filament from rolling on out. And as you can see here, it just kind of keeps it in. Now, since it's at the front, right now the roll of filament actually isn't contacting that bump. It has to roll forward a little bit before actually hitting it. So that might be something that I change in the future so that it sits further back here, but for now it should work fine because they're not going to come out. Also, if you wanted to add one additional feature, you could take another piece of scrap cardboard, or not scrap, and put it under the front so that the whole shelf system is tilted back slightly, and that will just help keep everything secure in the back of the drawer. My favorite part about this is just that versatility I was talking about. You can flip it and have it sit flat like this and still have a workable surface on the top. So that's how you make a quick and easy cardboard filament rack holder thing. So this is Maker Brain, and I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe.